Each week, your work is going to consist of two major parts. The first being our lecture section, and the second being our lab section. You can find the lecture material by clicking on the Content by Chapter tab in Blackboard. And then if you scroll down, you will find each of our units. So for example, week 1 we'll be doing chapter 1. So you'll want to click on unit 1, followed by chapter 1. Now, if you're not sure what chapter you should be on, you can always go back to the Syllabus and Information tab, where you will find a copy of our syllabus and our calendar. So in general, our chapters are not going to change, especially in an online class, because online classes are not going to be affected by things like weather days or instructor illness, things like that. So, and by and large, the chapters are not going to change anyway. So if you're not sure, always go back to your outline. I strongly suggest that you print your schedule and outline so that you always know what chapter we're on. So let's go back to Unit 1, Chapter 1. And in this Unit 1, Chapter 1 folder, you will find all of the materials that you need for the lecture section of our course for the week. The first thing you will want to do is watch the Chapter 1 videos. To accompany those videos, you may want to print the Chapter 1 study guide or the PowerPoint notes. Now, this chapter happens to have both the PowerPoint notes in PDF form and the PowerPoint in PowerPoint form. So whichever you would like to print, if you would like to, you may use. You will also notice each chapter has a student success guide. This is essentially a publisher-based study guide. It's an empty outline type study guide. So if you click on this, it's a document of usually 15 to 20 pages, but it is fabulous if you are taking notes from the book to help sort of organize your book, questions and things like that, terms, all of that. You can also use it for the lectures. The lectures won't follow it as closely. The Chapter 1 study guide is sort of a comprehensive list of topics that I have produced from the book and the lectures. It's going to be more comprehensive than my lectures, so you can use it however you would like. You can fill in all of the questions based on the book. You can fill in just my questions from the lecture, but do keep in mind, particularly with those terms, if those terms are on the study guide, there's a good chance they're going to be asked or could be asked on a test. And then the questions are to help guide your studying and your understanding. So you should start by printing up whatever of these 4 materials you want to use. It might be none, it might be all, it is completely up to you. After that, you'll go into the video folder and you will find one of two things. You will either find the video directly embedded in Blackboard itself, and in some chapters you may find a link to the videos. This just depends on when I put in the videos. At some point, SWIC asked us to not embed them, but to link them through YouTube. So you will find them either as an embedded video or a video link. Either one is just fine. So you should watch each of these, take notes, stay engaged, just as if it was an in-person lecture. Please jot down any questions that you have. The first thing you should do with those questions is go back to what you read in the book. See if you can get some clarification, or if you didn't read the book yet, go back and find that section. I believe you will get the most out of these lectures if you read the chapter ahead of time. Even if you just skim it in depth, don't just skim it. I strongly encourage my students to read the chapter and then watch the videos, because the videos are going to reinforce those concepts from the chapter. They're going to go into a little bit more detail. It's going to be me explaining them a bit more. Once you get done with those videos, you are ready to do the learning curve activity. the learning curve activity will be talked about in the Launchpad video, but for each of our chapters, you will have a learning curve, which is essentially an adaptive practice. So you will have a set of questions, and if you miss questions, they will tailor the questions you missed to try to reinforce the topics that you're on. Most of the chapters after chapter 1, I believe all of the chapters, will actually have some tutorials and activities in addition to those learning curves. So these are just 1 to 3 minute activities. Some are videos, some are little tutorials to click through on different topics within the chapter. So you may have noticed I clicked over to chapter 4. You'll see we have the videos, the PowerPoint notes, the study guide, the student success guide. In this case, I also have a little study aid for you, and then followed by all the learning curve and tutorials. So each of the chapters is going to have the same information. Let's go back to chapter 1. In chapter 1, we also have the week 1 assignment. This one is called an In the News assignment, and most of ours will be these In the News or Current Topics assignments. If you click on it, it will pop up a Word document for you. Hopefully, I'm not going to download it there. It's asking me to download it. This is your Word document. It will contain all of the instructions that you need to do your assignment. And then to submit your assignment, you're going to click on this week 1 assignment submission. And then you can browse your computer to upload your Word document that you created for your assignment. Then you'll just click submit, wait a few seconds, make sure that it actually submits before you leave. Because if it doesn't submit and you leave, you're going to be docked late points. So make sure that it submits. You can go into your grade book, make sure that it submits there.